Hey folks, so today I am playing some Atari 5200 games. I think I'm going to start out with some Pac-Man. I apologize for how terrible it looks. The Atari 5200 only outputs over RF connections, and the only thing I have that can accept that signal and convert it to a composite video is an old VCR. So I've got this thing running from the Atari 5200 to a VCR to my Frame Meister to my capture card, and it's lovely. I'm sure you can mod the 5200 to get something better, but for now, this is what I got. I probably should look into modding it, because this is just awful. Speaking of awful, this controller is just the worst. If you've ever seen an Atari 5200, you know, the internet loves to talk about how bad they are. Or, well, people who are on the internet who are either old, who talk about retro games enough to be aware of the 5200. I don't know how many people, even who are into retro games, have bothered playing the 5200. But, it's an analog controller that is not self-centering. So if you let go, it just, well, it kind of has a rubber boot that sort of, kind of, tries to center it. But it doesn't do a very good job. So, it's very difficult to pick cardinal directions, which a game like Pac-Man absolutely needs. So if you see me miss an obvious turn, odds are that's why. Also, I haven't played Pac-Man in a long time apparently, and I just am crap. Come on, ghosts. You know you want to come over here. No. Well, that's that. This isn't the most exciting Let's Play, but you know, whatever. I haven't done one in forever, and I wanted to play my 5200. Oh, but yeah, I was gonna say. So it's fairly well known that the analog controller isn't self-centering, and people love to talk about that. But I'll be honest, that's not the worst part. There's a reason I'm starting with Pac-Man and not, say, Galaxian. All the other buttons on this controller are just absolute garbage. They're all just like a rubber membrane button. So if you've ever taken apart most other controllers, crap, you've probably seen like the little rubber membrane that's inside them that the hard plastic button pushes down on. Imagine the button is just that rubber membrane, and it's also like knockoff quality rubber membranes. And that's about what you have with the 5200. Half the time they don't work. The circuit board that it connects to isn't a hard circuit board. It's like Mylar. So it gets damaged very easily. So even if you leave your controller just sitting alone, and you don't touch it, it will probably not work the next time you go to use it. For no reason other than the 5200 controller is just the worst, and it hates you. So any game that uses buttons is a pain in the butt to play, because they may or may not work at all. I found that usually taking the controller apart and rubbing the connections on the circuit board with a pencil eraser kind of, you know, cleans up any oxidation enough to let them work. But it's not great. They used to make replacements. I don't know if they still do. And by they, I mean just fans. Alright, well, maybe I'll switch to a different game. Alright, so I figured I'd switch to Miss Pac-Man, because, you know, that's way different. Unfortunately, you're missing out on the Atari boot logo. But there's not much I can do, because the FrameMeister takes a while to sync. So the screen is just black while that logo would be up. It's not a huge deal. You're not missing a ton. Man, this just looks awful. I would be far better off with just, like, composite video. This is how we played games back in the day, though. This is actually the better version of the 5200, like, video quality-wise. The first one, or the first model of the system, had power and video sent across the same cable. So there's this little box that you'd plug your RF connector into, and plug your your AC adapter into, and then one single cable went from it to the console. So power went to it, and video went away. And it was awful. On the bright side, it had 4 controller ports on the front, whereas mine only has 2, but, you know. Let's be honest, when am I ever going to have 4 people who want to come over and play on this thing? Where am I even going to find 4 controllers? They're expensive as crap now. Who's buying these? Who wants this thing? And if you want a third-party controller, well, tough, because there's only a few of them in existence. And they're stupid expensive too. Because this is the one time Atari didn't use the standard 9-pin plug like they did on everything else. So you can't just use your 2600 or Sega Genesis controller. But it's fine. It's not fine. It completely ruins so many games. Like, I honestly really like the 5200. Graphics-wise, it's a huge step up from the 5200 or from the 2600. Like, this game actually looks nice. It looks like Miss Pac-Man. And having just RF video isn't unusual for a console of this time. But, you know, the controller just kind of makes it a pain. I do quite enjoy Miss Pac-Man. Like, it's a good game no matter what you're playing it on. Even the Atari 2600 version of Miss Pac-Man is pretty good. Way better than its version of just regular Pac-Man. Come here, orange. I think I once read somewhere that this was the first game to have cutscenes in it. I actually think this version of Miss Pac-Man, other than the controller, which isn't the fault of the game, is better than the 7800 version. Because the Atari 5200 had a better sound chip. So it sounds pretty dang close to the arcade version. No, run, Miss Pac-Man. Get that pretzel. Nope. And there was a time when this was all I wanted in video games, was just things like this. I do prefer Miss Pac-Man when it's fast, though. And I have a homebrew version of Miss Pac-Man on the 7800. Even though it has worse sound, it does have the option to play at higher speed, which I enjoy quite a bit. He's gonna chuck. I knew he was gonna do that. Alright, well that's that. I guess I'll try a different game now. Alright, so this is Pengo, a game made by Sega. And I enjoy this game. It is not easy to control on this, though. Because I have to use buttons. So basically, you have to smush these dudes by pushing ice blocks. To squish them. And so yeah, you just run around as your little penguin self and you smush these dudes. Nope! Dang it. Dang it. I don't even know what those are. Yeah, it's kind of sad that there's this much video noise. Come on, go down one more. Woo! I actually enjoy this game a decent amount when it's not running, well, not on this. There's a Master System version that's pretty decent. I think there's also a Genesis version that's not bad. What? I thought I squished him. Yeah, that's that game. I'll switch to a different one. Okay, so this is pole position. It's actually a Namco game, but Atari had the rights to make the console versions. This will actually use your analog control. I remember this being okay, but it's very hard to steer. It's quite a bit better than the 2600 version. And for one, your car actually looks kind of like a car. I don't know if I have brakes or if my button is just not working. I don't remember. You switch gears by going up and down on the stick. Yeah, I don't think I actually have brakes. I think the top button just does nothing. So if you're looking to get into the Atari 5200, I would probably suggest you go with the Atari 8-bit computers instead. The Atari 400 and the Atari 800 basically have the exact same games. Like, hardware-wise, they're nearly identical. I can't remember if it's more similar to the 800 or the 400, but they were the same computer family. And they also allow you to use a standard 9-pin controller. You lose the analog stick, but you know, for these games, I think having a functional digital controller is way more important. Last time I looked, though, 8-bit or Atari 8-bit computers were getting more expensive. All of this retro gaming stuff is getting ridiculously expensive for some reason. Most of it isn't worth it, let's be honest. I mean, I love these old games, I really do, but I'm not going to spend hundreds of dollars on something like an Atari 5200. I bought mine when they were pretty cheap because no one wanted them. I find that a lot of the games I have that are now super expensive are just, you know, I bought them because no one gave a crap. Like I have Earthbound. I got it for $1. I think I bought it in like '98 at a pawn shop. Nowadays, you could never get that. Not for $1. You'd have to get insanely lucky. Honestly, this game isn't too bad. It's not as good as the arcade version, because that had the steering wheel. I used to play that all the time in Chattanooga, because we had to go to the laundromat to do our laundry, and they had a pole position machine there. Well, that was great. What is with that, dark blue, purple square just on the left side near the horizon? I don't know. And I guess it's no worse than the weird staticky looking stuff on the right. I'm willing to bet that's, oh, I exploded. I'm willing to bet that's them running code a bit earlier than they should, or game logic code, which interferes with the picture. They had to do stuff like that back then. Basically, you had to execute your game code in the time it took the cathode or the electron beam and a CRT to return from the right side of the screen back to the left. And then from the top, or from the bottom to the top. It's not as much of an issue nowadays. I mean, you still have to watch your system resources these days, but it's nowhere near what it used to be. I am not gonna finish this race. I have 4 seconds left. And I feel like my car's going slow as butts. Because I don't think the button is making contact the whole time. Also, I exploded once. I think I'll try out maybe one more game. Alright, so this is Sinistar. This is actually a homebrew game from, about 2010-ish? These colors look wrong. But yeah, this is the... No, I don't want a 2-player game. There we go. I was just trying to hit it once. Auto shooting, yes, because I don't want to have to hit that button. Alright. So basically, I have to mine asteroids to get bombs. Which are those little flashy things. They're a little hard to see. But I want to get as many as I can. These enemies don't matter as much. They'll try to kill me or steal the bombs. But yeah, some of the smaller enemies, while I'm mining stuff, are working on building Sinistar. And then he'll try to come kill me. And the only way I can kill him is to have this smart bomb, Cinabomb things. So come on. I actually did a very brief review of this a very long time ago, when my only way of recording video was pointing a webcam at a CRT. Oh, there's Sinistar. I should get away from him. And someone gave me a tip about how to get the bombs, but I don't remember what it was. Because I never actually played Sinistar in arcade. Oh, Sinistar is alive. There he was. So on the map at the top, he is the big X. So I have to shoot these bombs to blow him apart. Luckily, you don't really have to aim them. Ah, dang it! That dude sucks. 9 Cinnabombs. Sinistar has 8 pieces. Ah, no! Dude, how was I supposed to avoid that? I didn't even make it past the first level. That blue screen looked awful. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into modding this. I think you can also get bombs by killing enemies, potentially. This game is very hard to control. Nope. Get up there. Get that bomb. Get that bomb. There we go. Because you have to have enough bombs to blow up all of his pieces, and it's one bomb per piece. I feel like I'm just flailing around wildly. Ugh! I need 6 more, at least. There's one, if I can grab it. Come on, blow up. Bunch came out of there. I don't know if I have enough, but there he is. Nope. This is the first game to have, like, recorded voices in it, I believe. I mean, not the 5200 version, obviously. Ugh. Come on, Sinistar. I've got 3 bombs left. Ah! Freaking UFO'd. Yep. Coward level. At least I wasn't on the easiest difficulty and failing. But yeah, that's the game. You just do that over and over again. Yeah, that's a bunch of Atari 5200 stuff. It is what it is. I don't know if I recommend getting one, or because they're kind of expensive and a pain, and the hardware fails a bunch. Hooking it to a modern TV is a pain in the butt because they only output RF. You'd have to be willing to either mod it or have some sort of RF converter or RF demodulator. Yeah. I don't know if I've seen those. I'm sure someone makes them, but I don't know. Or just go to Goodwill and buy yourself a VCR, because that can convert it to composite video. Yeah, that's that. Later, folks.